boys still aren't here?
Oh, they're back.
Oh, they are back.
Yeah, but they're out on a field trip today.
Oh, field trip.
Yeah.
Well, good. I hope. Well, it's good to see they're back.
Oh, no problems.
No problems?
No, they're pretty behaved.
Well.
Yes. Grobu erased everybody's memory out there.
Oh, he did?
After the party. That's what I heard.
That's not what I saw on CNN. oh, by the way, our folks are here. Hello, folks. Welcome back to our show again. We're back for more here. And we're so glad to see you. No, we're not drunk. We're just happy to see you.
I'm Dr. Marc.
I'm Elmer, and we are
Marc and Elmer's PSI Piano Seat Investigations.
Yes, absolutely. If you like us, you like our show, you like our conversations, please go down below the video and like, comment, and subscribe. And also, please visit us on our forum on Facebook. Before we get things rolling, once again, please take care of your piano. There's nothing like having to play a piano that's nice and shiny. And here are the two products you could use. This one for non-finished pianos, okay, lemon oil. This one is Corey piano polish. I never leave home without this one, okay? You never know with some of the pianos that I played on, they're gonna need this. So, anyways, how's teaching?
Teaching's good. Actually, yesterday,
they
presented me with 3 $25 gift cards for DoorDash for positive reviews that parents have put in about my teaching.
Really?
Yeah. I just showed up at work yesterday and Trent handed me 3 different $25 gift cards.
Oh,
so I opened for the first time in my life a DoorDash account, and I've got $75 of credit inside. Isn't that nice?
How do you like that?
And then there was another time, it was a few months back, I got 5 $25 Starbucks cards.
Starbucks cards?
Yeah. So it's like having all the tea in China and the coffee for $125 worth for quite a while.
DoorDash and Starbucks.
So far, yeah. Plus they actually pay me.
Oh, good grief, man. This guy.
That's how the teaching's going, I guess.
Well, I guess it's going well. I guess it's going well.
There's some people going on vacation, but basically my schedule's still pretty solid, pretty full. And I've got somebody left to go to India for a month or so.
Oh.
Somebody else stepped into their place. Sometimes that can be a problem because when they leave for a period of time, kind of lose their slot.
Yeah.
I tend to be kind of foolish up.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get time with me otherwise. So I hope that one of my students is gone. He can continue. He's a sweet little boy. I like him.
Wonderful.
So how's it going with you?
It's
it's
mostly exactly.
Hey,
it's being summer.
You like my new phone cover?
No.
I got a new phone cover. If you guys see me flipping through, there's an old purple thing.
Yeah.
This leather skin of it was falling off, leaving little pieces all over the place. So I got a new one. It's basically the same kind of structure, but this one's cool because it has a double thing in the middle or in the front. So it's got room for 6 cards and a little wallet area for some bills,
Wow.
And it's all magnetic.
Call me old-fashioned. This is my wallet.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
Here's my flip phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, anyways, yeah.
I do all the editing for the shows.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows how to use a computer.
I'm not quite as soppy as he is, so that's why we're here. Anyways, the teaching is okay. One of my older students, he's in high school, saw me over at the mall, and saw me playing the piano, and so he decided to sit down and watch me play, and he asks me, so how long are you out here? He said, I'm here for about 3 hours. I said, and they pay you for this? says, "Yeah? Why? This is my job." And he says, "Can I get a job here?" I was like, "Oh boy." And it says, "Well, you've got a long way to go, young man." He says, "First of all, you can't fill 3 hours with only 4 or 5 songs."
Yeah.
You know, and so.
Yeah. And chopsticks only go so far.
Yeah. So. Exactly. So, anyways, moving on. If you are born today, you share the same birthday as Agustin Anievas.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Anievas?
Anievas.
Anievas.
Yeah.
Okay. He's American.
Mm-hmm.
Born 1934, and surprisingly, he's still with us. He's in his 90s.
Wow.
90 years old. So
Wasn't he on the
I
faculty
said,
down in Texas at some point?
don't know. There's very little. There's very little known about him.
Rice University or something?
He could be.
Huh.
I mean, I tried to look him up on Wikipedia, and they only talk about who he studied with, which was Edward Steuermann.
Wow.
Steuermann?
Steuermann, yeah.
Steuermann.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. And Adele Marcus.
Whoa.
And that's it.
Those are 2 big teachers.
Yeah, very big teachers.
Wow.
And after that, I mean,
Steuermann, I think, was associated with Brahms.
I believe
I
so.
looked that
It
up.
could be.
And then Adele Marcus was a student of both Rosina and Joseph Levine. And then
Adele. Oh yeah, she
then
was.
she, she took a big teaching position there for a long time.
Yeah, over at Juilliard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of pianists came from her. We've had. Let's see, who did we have? Did we have Santiago Rodriguez studied with her?
Mm-hmm.
Panias Liris studied with her
Wow.
as well, and countless others. The other birthday we have today is Ludwig Hoffmann,
Oh.
born 1925, died 1999, and he is from Germany. So, I just saw you shake your head.
It couldn't have been Brahms. He was only born in 1892, Steuermann.
Yeah.
But he did study. Steuermann studied with Ferruccio Busoni.
Ferruccio Busoni.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big name.
He was associated with Arnold Schoenberg. And Humperdinck, actually. Yeah. I knew his name. Whoa, there's some piano. Just a
Okay,
second.
sure.
Steuermann, living in the United States, he had to because he's Jewish. Need to get out of Germany and all that. But he taught at Juilliard, 52 to 64, and contemporaneously at the Philadelphia Conservatory, about the same period of time.
Jeez.
Students included Alfred Brundle, Jerome Lowenthal, Maura Limpani, Menachem Pressler, Russell Sherman. Oh, interesting. They had some non-piano performance students officially. Theodor Adorno. You know Adorno? Kind of socialist Marxist philosopher. The 20th century is really big time. We studied some of his stuff in musicology because his ideas had apparently, through the author's idea, application in musicology. Gunther Schuller. Was one of his students as well, Steuermann. Because Steuermann studied both piano and composition. Yeah, with Humperdinck and Arnold Schoenberg. So, anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, and I've known some other folks who studied with Steuermann.
Interesting.
Some of, like, my teacher's generation of teachers. So. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
All right. Well, anyways, an update. Let's see. Still working on my program. Decided to. I'm on the 5th page on the chromatic fantasy and fugue for the Bach. So I just kind of dabble with it on the side.
Can I ask you something?
What?
Are you a quick study, or does it really take you time to consume a piece of music?
Well,
in general.
In my younger years, I was a much quick studier. I mean, I went through some real nightmare situations back then. Being Findlay, Ohio, nothing against Findlay, but the Postal Service had a lot to improve upon, to say the least. I had days where preparing for the solo and ensemble competition in particular, I've had my worst luck preparing for that. Working on the Prelude in G minor by Rachmaninoff, and the music didn't arrive till 3 days before the competition.
Ooh, good for you.
And so, yeah, that I didn't get any sleep the night before. And then there's the other situation. My senior year, I did Prokofiev's Sonata No. 1, and that music didn't arrive till a week before the competition. So there's no recording of it. They didn't have a recording of it in the library, and so I just went on with my gut. Actually, believe it or not, since the sonata was an early work, it had sort of these Rachmaninoff qualities about it, and so it wasn't, to comprehend it was not as much of a chore as I thought it would be, having heard, other Prokofiev's music, so, I mean, it was an early work. But today, the fingers in the brain are a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say slower, but a little bit more. I want to run through I like to learn material with a fine-tooth comb from the very beginning, and so oftentimes, I won't go past the first page in the first week.
Wow. Good for
Okay,
you.
the first week it's just one page and that's it. So and then
my ex-wife Robin
Yeah.
got her bachelor's degree. It was in music education, but she was a pianist.
yeah,
She had some odd training in what it amounted to was that she read music from the top down. So she started with the melody and went into the bass.
Wow.
I had Germanic teachers. Not so much Germanic, Robert Wynn, but he studied with Alvin Serco and then studied with, oh, come on. The French teacher everybody would study with in Paris.
Nadia Boulanger.
She studied with Boulanger.
Yeah.
So I suppose it was a little bit more Frenchish kind of stuff. But he also, I remember, had me get the Oxford book of reading figured bass. Started to do that. Professor Wynn gave me a full round training in my teens. Not just piano lessons, but everything, music that I studied. Sight singing, Paul Hindemith's rhythmic training, the Oxford books of figured bass reading and all that. And he taught me Roman numeral analysis to a certain extent to get started with that. So when I see music, and I teach all my students this way too, music is from the bottom up.
Okay.
When you learn your lines and spaces,
Yeah.
every good boy deserves fetch from the bottom up, right?
Yeah.
There's some good ones, though. I've learned some good ones. I used to have Great Big Dogs Fight a lot, right? But a very popular one is Grandma Buys Donuts from Amazon in the bass clef. And another one is Good Burritos Don't Fall Apart.
Oh gosh! Do you remember the one episode from Raymond when he was taking piano
with his mom?
With his mom.
Yeah.
Do you remember what his mnemonic device?
No, I don't. But his mom was upset.
Yeah, he was upset. He says, "So and so's butt deserves framing."
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but it was something like that. So and so's butt deserves framing. I think that was the lines.
Yeah.
So, but that was funny. I mean, that's something to be. I mean, I would probably remember that one better than I would the thing about deserving fudge.
Can't teach that one though.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But I think because of my training, well, the other thing I used to do too, probably then as a teenager, especially on Saturdays, it was like ridiculously hot out and didn't want to go outside. Yeah. Or if the weather was bad, because it used to be in Western Ohio anyway, from June into July was almost like our monsoon weather. It would rain.
Yeah.
Not hard, but just Sometimes it was like somebody turned on the shower and it rained for 5 days. You know, they were, I forget what they call these storms now, dechos or something, but one after the other, just tracing itself through the Midwest. But we had a massive pot, and that was started out at shells, but eventually just became a mountain of music scores in between the piano and the organ.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just reach in and pull out a book, put it up on the piano, and just open the first page and just start to play. And sight read, just one piece after the next for 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon. And I think that's why I became really good at reading.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times like in the doctorate when, I remember there's a teacher especially, he would ask me sometimes, I'd come in, he'd put the music down in front of me to play for one of his singers. I'd just start playing. And he'd say, "Have you played this before?" "No, I think this is the first time I ever worked on it." And he would just get this phone. It's kind of amazing. But the reason I'm asking the question is because this guy is like music jukebox. You know, he plays everything by memory. He can play hours at a time.
Pop music's easier. Okay.
Yeah, but he can do his classical pieces too. And you know, I had memorized things and did it for years and stuff like that. I think it came about when I was a professor. Yeah. And I do think the memory happens also because you just practice, repeat. Yeah. And it becomes kind of automatic up here, right? Yeah. I don't think I ever did the kind of memorization where I put a lot of thought into the theoretical aspects of it. My hands and my mind and my eyes got used to seeing it. I could see it in my head. But I think when I was a professor, I was so busy, always teaching overtime and everything. Yeah. And I practiced almost every night of the week, 5 or 6 nights a week. But it was limited, you know, to getting stuff what I could work on and so forth. I just started to use the scores. And it was interesting because at some point I played a big concert in Bayreuth. Yeah. And I apologized to Steinker. I said, "I don't know if it's wrong that we played with the scores." And he looked at me kind of funny. He said, "No," he says, "it's actually becoming more common now." Yeah. And I forget, I have to almost think of his name, but a pretty big German pianist who played in the big Bayreuth City concert series.
Is this the guy that did the Wagner opera transcriptions and stuff?
No, not him.
Not him?
Because he did stuff amazingly better and wrote all that great.
Yeah.
No, there's another guy, Gerhard Opitz, I think.
Yeah, Gerhard Opitz. Yeah.
He used the scores at his recital.
Yeah, he was a gold medal winner of the Arthur Rubinstein Competition a while back.
I've taken to doing that in more recent years, if anything, because I like to practice it all, so it's really, so there's no surprises or anything. But I think it gives me a certain sense of comfort and freedom. Yeah. And I also feel like I can be more fresh with the music if I want to be, you know? Yeah. There's something by doing it by memory and stuff where it can be, if you really get it in there, play very freely. Yeah. But for a while there's a period of, it almost feels like it's learned by rote. You know what I mean? Until it incorporates. But I mean, how do you explain somebody like Arthur Rubinstein? Remember when he was 72, 73 years old?
He says photographic memory.
Yeah, he said that.
That's what he says.
He did those concerts in Carnegie Hall around 1960 or 61, like that. Something like 17 piano concertos in 8 concerts or something. Mm-hmm. And then he also did, I have a feeling it's kind of based on the idea of the historic recital set, at least 12 solo recitals, right? Yeah. Where there's something like 140 some pieces. Yeah. Never repeated one of them in the concerts. Yeah. You know, that's just...
That's phenomenal. That's encyclopedic.
That's those people.
That's a whole new level.
Stand near the pinnacle of the iceberg. Yeah. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
There's some people that have freak memories, though.
Oh, sure they do.
Not necessarily the greatest pianists, but they could just play forever.
Yeah.
You know, my dad, he was a very finely trained musician, honestly.
Yeah.
I saw him at times. He'd sit down at the organ and just for his own pleasure, if other people were in the house or he had guests or something, he'd go on for 3 hours. Never crack open a book of music.
Yep.
You know? That's the reason why I asked that. Just
Okay, well,
curious about learning process and what it leads to in terms of with the sheets or not the sheets, you know?
Yeah.
You have always performed by memory in
Memory.
the concerts I've seen you do.
Yeah. Always have. I'm vain. So, anyways.
I'm too old to be vain.
Yeah. No, we need all the help we can get. So I was going to
I
go
took you
somewhere. I
off
can't
course.
remember. No, that's all right.
You just done the famous people. Oh, you're going to talk about the competition.
Oh yeah, the competition. That's right. Here it is. So I finally got through
I've got something I got to take care of.
level
I'll
or
be
session 4.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So if you recall from last time when we talked, I had only gotten a chance to listen to 2 of the pianists from session 4. The first one was Simon Haji from Germany. Okay. I'll refresh your memory. He opened his program with Luciano Berio's Brin, Brin, that's a Nancy. And then he did Dante Sonata by Liszt. Then he did a Sonata in G major, Hoboken 17, number 6 by Haydn. And he did 2 movements from the Out of Doors suite by Bartók. And, well, you remember when I said he was, he sort of reminded me of Rudolph Valentino? Well, I had a chance to review his program again. I watched him play again. And actually, he sort of reminds me of a combination Clark Kent, Edward Scissorhands, and Rudolph Valentino. So, I mean, Clark Kent, because he looked, you know, he walks in on a stage and, well, say the least, he looks and dresses like, sort of reminds me of Clark Kent. But then there's this sort of brooding quality about him that was sort of Edward Scissorhandish, if I can use the term. And then the fact that, you know, his facial expressions and the way he emoted from the piano, it kind of reminded me of Rudolph Valentino. His concert attire was rather interesting. Dark pants, dark jacket, white shirt, open collar. So, but anyways, I in session 4, I really enjoyed his playing. To my surprise, he didn't get very much comments in the video in the comment section on the video. So, surprisingly, I didn't understand that. I thought he was a fine performer. Then came Ying Li. The highlight of her program was Ravel's La Valse. She opened up her program with the Sonata number 28 in A major, Opus 101 by Beethoven, then followed that up with Liszt's Rigoletto paraphrase, and then closed with La Valse. Once again, she was more of a mature artist, and everything about the way she approached the music, well, it was respectable. You didn't really get to the real fireworks till you got to La Valse. Just the sheer sheen of the way she glissandos up and down the keys. It was wonderful. And then we came to Young Ho Shin of South Korea. He opened his program with the Variations in F minor by Haydn, and he opened up with Preludes number 4 and 5 from Book 1 of Debussy, and he closed his program with Sonata number 2 by Rachmaninoff, the 1931 version, the revised version. His program, well, he's a young kid, so he has plenty of room to grow and mature. The playing, even though it was good, I don't know. Personally, that's all I can say about it. It was just good. Oftentimes, his mannerisms at the pianos when he look up or shake, this way and that way, it didn't really reflect what he was doing on the piano. So that's all I can say about that. Dominic Chameau of Germany, /Switzerland. He opened up his program. He only had 2 works on his program. The Sonata number 17 in D minor, The Tempest by Beethoven. And he closed his program with La Valse by Ravel as well. So, it was his playing of the Beethoven was respectful. It was musical. All right, here's how I feel about this work. Okay, the first movement of the Tempest Sonata, I feel you've caught Beethoven at his most volatile. It's very dramatic. It almost comes off, the very beginning almost comes off almost like an opera. You have this very masculine bass here, bum, 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 right? And then you hear it answered by this higher soprano, right? So it gets very dramatic before he goes into the codetta at the end of the exposition. And what I didn't feel was I didn't hear the dramatism or the intensity at the very beginning. We're talking about the last final 2 competitors of session 4.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so anyways, to give you a heads up, we talked about Simon Haji last week. I gave a review of that, and Ying Lee. She was the second one. But we had this Young Ho Shin from South Korea. That was basically his program. And Dominic Chameau, that was his program.
From Switzerland?
From Germany /Switzerland. So
Does Shin guy play like the common Korean pianists are nowadays? They're all like
Shin,
miraculous sound and all that.
Well,
not so much.
Not so much. My problem with him was that it was good, and that was all you could say about it. I mean, he has some room to grow, and the fact that he was going out like this at some parts and going like that in some parts, it didn't really reflect what was going on in the music. Music-wise.
Ellsworth used to say, Ellsworth did not like demonstrative stuff. Yeah. Except what came through your fingers. Because he said, I saw Rachmaninoff perform a few times, and Horowitz. Yeah. Saw them play. Yeah. And he said Rachmaninoff was like a stone. Yeah. Just nothing there, but my God, the sounds that were coming out of the piano were just incredible sometimes. Wow. And Horowitz was not very demonstrative.
No, he wasn't. I mean, every once in a while he was. Kind of. The Zubin Mehta performance with the Rachmaninoff third. Yeah. The most you see him is when he goes. Let's see, what was it? Down the final cadenza before the finale, the big grandiose finale. Bum ba-dum 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 ba-dum, and you see him go boom. Yeah. Like that is the most you'll see him do. Yeah. And then the orchestra comes in, he goes out da dum da da dum 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 da da dum 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 la dee da 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 da. So, but anyways, you can look that up on YouTube.
Interesting moments in that performance. He keeps his jacket buttoned during the whole thing. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I wasn't even chubby when I was younger, but I always would open my jacket.
Exactly.
He keeps his jacket, just like that. I think he's wearing an ascot in that performance. Just very like this. Yeah. He did when he was older for a period of time. He'd get a little physical occasionally.
A little bit.
But, I mean, when you see the older stuff about him, he was just like razor sharp focused on the piano and just Not a lot to look at. But this was interesting because I learned from with Mr. Bilson.
Yeah.
He said to me just in passing one time, he says, it's always interested me. He says, everybody wants to sit and watch the pianist play.
Yeah.
He said, but I always thought the best sound's at the tail.
Yeah.
So I always sit way over there
Yeah.
in that part of the theater. And I said, well, actually, I started doing that a long time ago, too, because, you know, that's where the best sound comes out of the instrument. I know people are fascinated to watch the hands move and things happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might be a little curious about how they do what they do just to catch it, you know. But if it's a pretty well-known performer, the other thing, too, is with a lot of seasoned performers, there's not that much to learn by watching them play.
No, not at all.
Everything has become so refined and tiny the way they do what they do that there's not like you're going to get some big lessons on technique by watching the big ones. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Horowitz said one time he was astonished when he'd come out of retirement and stuff. And, I mean, he had longish fingers and all that.
Yeah.
And he sat low to the piano and played.
Yeah.
Not as low as Glenn Gould or something,
No.
but, you know.
But-
Some of the old-timey guys, they would sit kind of lowish.
Yeah.
But he said he was astonished when he watched a video of himself playing with the flat fingers.
He was astonished by
He
that.
was astonished. He said, you know, he says, I always told my students, you know, never do that. And then he said, and Blumenthal would have killed me if
He saw that.
it was Blumenfeld, if Tal was his teacher.
Yeah, Felix Blumenthal.
Bloomfield, yeah, or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he started doing that at some point.
Yeah.
And you know, there were people that copycatted anything that Horowitz ever did. People copycatted.
Yeah.
But I tried it actually for a little while when I saw it, but I have stubby fingers, so it didn't work. Anyway, I interrupted.
All right, that's all right. Session 5 was very interesting.
Uh-huh.
The first pianist in session 5, this was a game changer, at least for me. This is a pianist that no one will be able to ignore. His name is Robert Billy, Billy.
Really?
Okay, and he's from the Czech Republic.
Huh.
He opened up his program with a work called 12 Notations. Have you heard of it? 12 Notations by Pierre Boulez.
Oh, I do know about the title, but I've never heard it.
Okay.
No.
And then he continued on to the
And he pronounced it Boulez. Actually.
Boulez?
Yeah.
Okay, Boulez.
Boulez, yeah.
Okay. The Mazurkas, Opus 24 by Chopin.
All of them? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 Etudes de Jazz by Elvin Schulhoff.
Oh, Erwin. Is it Erwin Schulhoff? I think Erwin. Erwin Schulhoff.
Schulhoff.
He's
You've heard
a
of
great
it.
Czech composer. Yeah,
Okay.
I've got some stuff of his, some etudes and some things, some British books, stuff. And a colleague of mine, Tom, he was a Czech citizen, American as well. His parents had escaped during the communist period, and he grew up in Chicago. Tom Svatos.
Yeah.
I think he's still writing and doing things in musicology, but I don't think he's still teaching anymore. Not at least at the university where we were. But he was living in southern Cyprus. But he did some writing. I remember he showed me an academic paper that he did on Schulhoff, which I think is how I first got introduced to him. Because then he asked me if I could learn 2 or 3 pieces and play them for him, so he could really hear them, because there was no recordings of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I first started. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Complicated.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. If it's Boulez.
Oh no,
Schulhoff.
Yeah.
Schulhoff.
Yeah.
Schulhoff.
Well, Boulez, of course.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Well, this is interesting. So, how was his Chopin? Was it
The
really
Chopin-
lovely?
Oh.
Very
Yeah.
dance-like, very
well.
quixotic?
Tell you the truth, it was about the program. I wouldn't exactly say that the mazurkas were stylized or ideally mazurka-like.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he definitely revealed them to be salon works. Okay, but not the kind of salon that you would think. Okay, now in order for me to tell you what happened with the mazurkas, I have to tell you about the 12 notations that came before it. Okay, this is a pianist. He's a young man, but I think he's moving on to his near 30s, late 20s. He had sort of a nice, clean cut, close cropped head of hair that was short on the sides and a little bit longer on the top, just a little bit. And he had a nice, trimmed beard, mustache. And he walks on stage in black turtleneck jacket and dark pants. And the overall impression was he kind of reminded me of a beatnik.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he sort of reminded me of beatnik. He exuded a lot of confidence, but he looked at the whole concert recital thing. He walks on stage, he bows, and and it's quiet in there. Few people are like going. There must have been only and it sounded like there were only 4 or 5 people clapping, and that was it.
This is all happening in Germany.
This is all happening in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and he just bows, and it seemed like just a regular formality.
Mm-hmm.
He sits down, and he goes off and starts to belez. Very dissonant, but not overly dissonant. Very thin textures. Now you would think that, because of the serialistic nature of it, you'd think that it would be thin textures throughout. No way. There were moments in there where the hands were moving contrapuntally this way and opposite directions, and some of it was going this way. It was, some of it was very, lot of finger work, put it that way, okay? There was also large dissonant chords, and you would see him in a manner where he wasn't overly doing it, but there were points in it where he was almost like a conductor, where he had the big chords, and you'd see him go boom, and his whole left arm would be like this. Okay, now he goes through all, and the pieces were not long. The movements were not long. It says 12 notations. They weren't very long. Some of the longest one probably lasted about 3 minutes, and that was it. Otherwise, there was a 1 minute of this, 2 minutes of this, 1 minute of this, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final piece, it ended rather darkly, boom, and he just sort of sat there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first mazurka almost came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
That was the weird part, because he just kind of sat there, and the music was already dark, and all of a sudden you hear this mazurka come out of nowhere, and that's why I say some of it wasn't, ideally a mazurka. It was more about the program, and so it wasn't as lively as you think it would be, but it was more of a gradual liveliness and not anything flamboyant, but it stayed intimate. The whole he exuded a more intimate nature of the music rather than it being an actual mazurka. Okay, I've heard these mazurkas before, and I thought at first, well, that was kind of strange the way he's doing that. But then I thought, but then again, if you listen to the pieces before it, it kind of makes sense why he would do that. Okay. So anyways, from there, we move on to the Erwin Schulhoff. It's Erwin Schulhoff.
Yeah.
5 jazz etudes, basically. And here he really was in his element. He really was. The first etude was sort of a rhythmic, bum, da-yum, bum, 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 ba-da-yum, bum, 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 ba-da-yum, bum, bum. And some neat figurations here on the right hand. It was very improvisatory, very idyllic. The second movement was sort of a minor blues, it was sort of a drag, almost depressing kind of quality to it. The rest of it, it was everything you would expect from jazz. The last movement, the last jazz piece, had was rather brassy, thicker chords, but not overly thick. I'm not talking like Brahms thick or anything like that. It's just, you could hear a brass ensemble in it, as you would expect from a jazz band. It was a very good program. I was very intrigued by it, and he stood up, he took his bow, and once again, he was really in his element. I mean, he was, if anything, he was probably that was the most sincere performance and put together program I've seen so far. He is the one guy you cannot ignore.
He sounds to me like that. He's an intellectual pianist, but it reminds me of the kind of coolish style of the Icelandic pianist now.
Vikinger?
Yeah, Vikinger
Olafsson? Yeah.
Is there similarity in personality or the presentation?
Presentation? No, it wasn't anything. Not Vikinger was something different. His playing has almost a metaphysical quality to it. Otherworldly.
Yeah.
This one, you can say it was sort of otherworldly, but at the same time, he has both feet on the ground. He knew exactly. He was honest. The way he walked, the way he presented the music. It was the most sincere performance I've seen so far yet. Whereas the other competitors,
good for you.
They were good. Okay, they were good, but this one, like I said, you couldn't ignore it. He wasn't just good. He stood out. He's the one to look out for. After him, Philip Lenov. He's dual citizenship, Russia and Germany. He opened up his program with Sonata Number 24 in F sharp major, Opus 78 by Beethoven. Have you ever played that work?
Well, no, but one of my doctoral questions was all on the 32 sonatas, so I had to know all of them very intimately.
Yeah.
It doesn't grab me.
It didn't grab me either.
It's a strange key. And all
it is a strange key. That's the only one that's an F sharp major, isn't
it? Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah,
that's very odd.
Yeah, and there's a maybe a short episode of G flat major in the Appassionata, and that's it. It's just a short episode. But this one's like a whole work in F sharp major. So that's I'd like to know what his Beethoven's where his mind was when he thought of F sharp major. Anyways, he follows that up with the Sonata Number 1 in F sharp minor, Opus 11 by Schumann. So, anyways,
That's it? Two sonatas.
Two sonatas, that was it.
Wow.
So
can you imagine how do you make judgments between Boulez and Schulhoff and some Chopin, and then Beethoven and Schubert?
Yeah.
There's serious apples and orange stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, perhaps then it really draws one's attention to strictly pianistic things.
Yeah.
I suppose physical mastery, any kind of style, but maybe more personality and characteristics as well.
Yeah.
When I saw some of the winners or prize people are in the Rubinstein, to be honest, I recognized more of those names than I have from Van Cliburn competitions.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Which one?
Well, I mean, I was thinking of a number of people.
Yeah, there was a few
that have been mentioned who were Rubinstein winners, and I know their names.
Mm-hmm.
I know these people as performers. Actually, the silver medalist was out in Colorado. I can't think of her first name, but she was on the faculty there. She was a silver medalist in the Rubinstein. But there's other people, and I know their names, like
Oh yeah,
the
Katya.
Georgian,
Yeah.
for example. I didn't know that she was a winner, but
Yeah.
not surprised, I suppose. But is it somehow there's more personality that comes out of those performers from the Rubinstein in comparison with like the Van Cliburn? Yun Chin Lam, right? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah. Or Lim.
Lim. Is it Yun Chan Lim? Yun
Yeah.
Chan Lim. He watches this stuff from beginning to end. I tend to, it's like when I lived in Japan,
Yeah.
and every other month, I think it's the odd months, right?
Yeah.
First, third, fifth, so
Yeah.
are the sumo wrestling
Uh-huh.
meets, and they would meet for 15 days, first 15 days of
Yeah.
every other month. Well, there's the hardcore people that watch pretty much everything, but we'd usually wait until the last 5 days and then start to watch what was going on.
Yeah.
Because if anything, it started out with the lesser classes of different, how should I put it, less advanced kind of in terms of their technique and their skills and stuff and their status.
Mm-hmm.
They'd fight, but the last 5 days is the big guys, big time.
Yeah.
And those are interesting to watch. But it's like when Yun Chan Lim came around.
Yeah.
I started to watch the Van Cliburn right near the end. There was that German lady who played Beethoven concerto.
Oh no, she's Russian actually.
Was she Russian?
She's Anne Ganyushini.
And she was pregnant.
She was pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like 6 months, 7 months, or something like
She
that.
did a really nice job with the Beethoven.
Oh, it was wonderful.
And I don't remember who the other man was, but I remember Yun Chan Lim, and I remember because what's her face, the conductor.
Marian Alsop. Yeah.
She used to direct the Colorado Symphony,
Yeah.
and I met her a few times.
Yeah.
She was a Bernstein protege and all
Yeah.
that. And the
Yeah.
woman's been around the world. I mean,
Yeah.
big time. Now she's in Austria, doing one of the big radio
Yeah.
orchestras, and she had been down in South America
Yeah.
doing something, and has been in Baltimore for a long time.
Yeah.
I think there was a connection that Leonard Slackton got her there or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
But my God.
Yeah.
That Rachmaninoff performance, I think will go down in history, similar to Van Cliburn's performance with the Tchaikovsky
Mhm.
at the Tchaikovsky competition. That kind of historical moment.
Yeah.
Just never heard the Rachmaninoff played, which I think when you look at the way that the music unfolds and everything, is it and I think I read this, that he based his compositional ideas on the Baroque idea of
Mhm.
a keyboard concerto, which is a great deal of integrity
Mhm.
between the orchestra and the
the
keyboard,
keyboard, yeah.
kind of playing, responding to each other. And there are moments, I hate this about some, star soloist kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There are clearly moments in the second, but
Yeah.
definitely in the third concerto,
Yeah. Yeah.
which are meant to accompany the orchestra.
Uh-huh.
But somehow they'll bring out that part,
Part,
and
yeah.
bring that sucker out.
Yeah.
It's like a performance I hated when I was living in Japan
Yeah.
of the Opus 19 cello sonata of
Yeah.
Rachmaninoff.
Yeah.
The real height of the second movement is in the piano.
Part. Yeah.
And the cello's playing obligato, da 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 da. There's kind of this big musical moaning, kind of like, ooh, whoa, like we're almost orgasmic.
Yeah.
And so the pianist backs off from her massive chordal
Yeah.
octaves,
Yeah.
and he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Did you guys ever study what melody is, So, but what I loved about
Yeah.
Yun Chan, in Horowitz doesn't play it at all like that. It's a very different
Yeah.
approach, but I had never heard such a remarkable integration of what was happening at the keyboard or the orchestra, and you could hear the direct connection to one of the woodwinds, and something like that. It was amazing. So the guys, and who's the new little Southeast Asian dude that did the White Album of the?
Oh, Risto Sham.
Yeah. Risto, right?
Risto. Aristo.
Aristo Sham, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was Busoni, right?
It was, yeah. He did the Busoni. He did oh gosh, I can't even remember. He did. He opened up with a Bach partita in C minor, not the C minor one, but it was something different. And he did the variations on Chopin Prelude C minor.
Oh, that's right.
Da, da, da. It was, and that one was by Busoni.
Busoni, yeah.
There were other works in there.
I remember
he did the Hallberg Suite.
This one of them, your wife bought it for you? Or?
Yeah, my wife bought it for me. He did Bach Busoni Chaconne, the D minor.
So it strikes me that, and I think when the Van Cliburn used to have more expectations in terms of various repertoire. Because they had that chamber music component, which was from Van Cliburn's wish to have played more chamber music in his career. The people that finished were memorable.
Oh yeah, they were very memorable.
In a way that Van Cliburn, in a sense, was memorable. Like these are guys that have proven to themselves. Let's put it this way: they have the potential to be on the top part of the iceberg. Period.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whether or not they end up there is up to what they do with their career and their music making and all that. It's up to them. But the Van Cliburn, those ones that come out is like, keep an eye on these because this is top drawer material. But I think about the people that won the Arthur Rubinstein at different times, and I just am really pulled in by the music making.
Yeah.
I mean, Katya has a lot going for her.
Yeah, she does.
But and in all kinds of ways. But she's a legitimately fascinating musician.
Oh, absolutely. The girl can play.
Yeah, and her sister does too.
Yeah.
Two of them play together. And isn't the third one a violinist or something?
There's a third sister?
Aren't there three of them?
I don't know.
Two of them are pianists.
I remember there's two of them.
But I thought there was. I'll look it up. All right, but
I didn't know there were three sisters. There's three sisters.
Oh.
Oh God.
Sorry, people.
That's okay. It's a good thing the boys aren't here.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, so how much more? This is preliminary stuff.
These are all preliminary
stuff. Because you said the big next stage is in September.
In September, they're supposedly,
and
I'll find out.
Tel Aviv.
Yeah, it's supposed to take place in Tel Aviv, the finals.
And that's the finals.
That's the finals.
Is that concerto stuff then?
I think they are. I told you from the last time we did this a couple episodes ago that there was some confusion in the way the hostess was explaining things. I didn't understand it. I mean, I had to replay their statement 3 or 4 times to really make sure I heard what I thought I heard. But she said the finalists have already played their concertos. So finalists have already been picked, but according to where the round they are, the session that they are, the finalists have not been picked yet. This is only round 3 or session 3.
Yeah.
I was only up to session 3, and she had already told me that the finalists had already performed the concertos. So I'm totally confused.
Are you guys just simply watching?
I'm just going to watch
pre-recorded stuff, or
you see, that's what I don't understand. I mean, they are pre-recorded stuff, but chronologically, they're not supposed to have played the concertos yet, unless there's supposed to be another round of something else other than the concertos. You know what I mean? So maybe concerto round. There's a concerto round is still preliminary before the final round.
Huh.
So. What they have planned, I don't know, but I guess
how are you watching this on YouTube or something?
On YouTube, yeah, yeah, YouTube. So, anyways, I got to the second pianist, Philip Linoff, Russia/Germany. I told you he played the Beethoven and the Schumann. Schumann.
Oh, he played the Schumann
Schumann
first.
number 1.
Oh,
F sharp
minor.
Yeah, F sharp major, F sharp minor.
Beethoven and Schumann. Ah, that makes more sense. I thought you said Schubert, and I thought, I don't even know what Schubert's first sonata is, but
Yeah.
F sharp minor seems probably not what he would have done. But yeah, that makes sense.
So, anyways.
That's a great work, too.
So, an ad pops out in the middle of the second or third page of the Beethoven sonata, and I'm trying to skip through it, and my computer won't let me skip. And I thought, well, that's odd. It's always skipped before. So I'm sitting there poking at it, and all of a sudden the thing goes black. No! So I'm sitting there, so I think, okay, let's reboot it. And now it says, your internet is offline.
Happens. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, folks, but that's as far as I got. Okay? Yeah. I mean, it's not nearly enough to give you a full, honest opinion about Philip Linoff. But so far, like I said, this guy, Robert Billy from Czech Republic, so far he's the one that just absolutely grabbed my attention.
Mm.
And he performed his program very impressively, and I'll have to say it with fewer notes, with significantly fewer notes. I mean, there were points where he just went bing, like that. You'll just play a chord here, and you barely heard bing. You know, so anyways, that's what I have for you today from the Arthur Rubinstein. Hopefully the internet will be back on so I could go listen to some more. Before we go on, I just made a thrilling discovery here. Let me find it. Did I bring it? No, that's not it. Well, where the heck is it? Okay. Well, oh, there it is. I brought the CD along. You've seen these, right?
Masters
sort of generic.
Classical music, yeah.
Right? Sort of generic looking.
Yeah.
Check it out, folks. This, you may have seen a cover kind of like this. It rather looks generic. This one just says, well, it's released by a label called Music, and that's it. Music. M. There's a big capital fancy M. Then right there's a word music right smack in front of the capital M. I brought this in for you. It's a Chopin CD, as you can tell. And have you ever sat down and looked at the names behind this? This is quite intriguing.
Well, names behind what?
This is a collection of live recordings.
Yeah.
And you have pianists like Krzysztof Jablonski.
Yeah, I know the name. Yeah.
Stanislav Bunin.
Yeah, remember him too.
Yuval Fishman.
Don't know.
Jean-Marc Louisada.
Nope.
Evelyn Dubourg. Doesn't ring? These are all competitors from the Chopin competition.
Oh, that's
all
what these are?
I've recognized all these names. I looked them all up, and the one thing they have in common is they all competed in the Chopin competition. And it says live recording here. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to sit down and listen to these recordings, and they sound very competitive. They're very competitive. This was a very impressive CD, but it's on a generic label called Music. That's it.
Where'd you pick this up?
I picked this up for $1 over at half price books. It was on clearance. Okay, the clearance. And okay, folks, if some of you local people here in Columbus, you've been to Half Price Books, you go to the clearance section, and most of those CDs are $2, right?
Mm.
This one was $1,
Mm.
and mostly because I think it's because of this generic label, music, and that was it. And I don't think they understood the fact that these were live recordings by major competitors of the Chopin competition. And I noticed that they did this regularly because they put these CDs like this in the clearance section. They'll just give them away practically for $1. They may as well just hand them out, to tell you the truth. But the performances are actually, if you look carefully at the contents, some of these performances are actually quite impressive. So be on the lookout for these Chopin CDs on this label.
I wonder if...
there's another one called Laserlight. Have you heard of Laserlight?
Oh, I remember Laserlight.
Okay,
yeah.
some of them were said Laserlight, and they had these really impressive performers on it. And believe it or not, Martha Arkwright's performances was on those.
Really?
I couldn't believe it.
I wonder in a case like that if the performers signed away their rights to any ownership of the recordings, you know.
Yeah, I
like
wondered.
if you're a competitor at the Chopin competition in Warsaw, you just, you know, we're gonna take your recordings and put them out there and make some money off of them, and you don't get a dime.
Don't get a dime. Well, they were no names at the competition. So
well, Boonen is.
He's very well known now.
I think I actually saw him play one time.
And Evelyn DeBoard.
I don't know that name.
Evelyn DeBoard. She's quite popular. I think she did. Let me see. I think she did. She released some 4A CDs here and there. Anyways, I wanted to bring that one up. So, anyways, let that be a lesson to you, folks. Don't judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a CD by its cover. You never know what's in it. So, anyways, can we do High Plains Swifter today?
Sure.
Okay.
Looks like you're prepared there.
Yeah, I am prepared. Okay, folks, this is a big deal. We're going to do, for those of you who have been with us for the last couple of seasons, you know that we're going to do some exciting things, especially when it comes to PSI's High Plains Swifter.
Just close the stuff in the box.
Yeah, there's only one thing in the box. One. Okay. Well, folks, welcome to PSI's High Plains Swifter. You know what it's all about. What have you been reading? What have you been listening? What have we been playing? Or what have we found?
Yeah, I thought Swifter was all about our finds.
It's about about it. Okay, so you're talking about the bottom of the barrel here. Not exactly, though. Here's a pianist, Behzad Rahman. Heck, here, you read it.
Abdurrahman? Oh, no, this guy.
You've heard of him?
Abdurrahimov. Yeah, Abdurrahimov. I actually have heard of him.
You've heard of him?
Yeah, because I think... Well, he's active in the part of the world that I lived in at one time. I forget where he's from. I don't know if there's any information there about him, but I know what I remember. When I was in Cyprus, he was playing a concerto, one of the big Russian ones, I don't remember, in Cairo with the orchestra. Abdurrahimov, yeah.
Okay, well, anyways, there's not much information about him. The only information I was able to find that seems significant was the number of competitions that he had been, awarded with, as far as prizes go. But he's also studied with Stanislav Yudenich. Okay, if some of you are familiar with that name, Stanislav Yudenich tied for gold medal with Olga Kern at the Van Cliburn. He received a lot of attention, particularly in the competition before that, when he made it to the finals, and well, he was making some tea, and he had accidentally burned his hand making tea, and so he couldn't play, go on to the final round of the Van Cliburn from before that, and so he had to wait another 4 years to come back. What?
I think I might know his name also because I'd need to look the guy up and be sure.
Okay.
But I'm making a connection with Turkmenistan.
To what?
Turkmenistan. It's a country over there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Turkic culture.
Okay.
There's you see the little Muslim hat, not the big one, but the other one there, the colorful deer. It's behind your back. See it?
This one?
Yeah.
You want me to bring it over or what?
You to take it for a minute. That was given to me as a present by a baritone opera singer. This was his hat. He's Muslim. They're Muslims. Turkmenistan. They're friendly with Turkey, of course.
Uh-huh.
They have a long-term leader, Soviet stuff, post-Soviet stuff. But one thing they're interested in, I think it might be because of this picture, they have this massive hole in the ground in Turkmenistan, which has been burning for decades. They consider it the doorway to hell. It's a massive crater, and looks like an active volcano. It's just constantly
like
on fire, like that. And I think now the connection I'm making, he may have been playing with a Turkish orchestra, and not in Cairo. I don't remember, but his name, has a certain Russian-y and Middle Eastern kind of quality to it. Anyway, I'm not sure. I'll look him up and I'll get stuff right. But this was the Muslim skull cap that a friend of mine. I was invited to perform with him a couple of times. I was actually invited to join him in Turkmenistan and do some performances with him, but I never got to go. I think it might have presented some visa issues because Turkmenistan and the United States were not close.
Okay.
And it might have been a problem for me to get in there. I had the same problem that there were some Iranians that wanted to bring me to do some playing in Iran, and they actually worked a bit to try to help get artistic visa for me, but it didn't pan out.
Wow.
Political crap,
right. Well,
But
anyways,
have you listened to it?
I have listened to it already. This was released out on the, I don't know what the label here is. Let me see.
Not a lot of information.
Alpha Classics, Out There Music, or Out Here. No, I think it's Out There. Out There or Out Here Music. O Music, SPPF, whatever that is, and CN, or is that a W? I don't know. It's just got all sorts of labels in here. But he called his album Inferno. Okay? The album is Inferno.
I know, okay. He's from Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan.
He's from Uzbekistan.
Okay. Well, anyways, he's in America now. He's artist in residence at the University of Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where he took lessons with Stanislav Udanich, and then they eventually made him artist in residence.
He's done well.
Oh, he's done very well.
He's from Tashkent.
Say what?
The city, the most important city in Uzbekistan, Tashkent.
Okay, cool.
Began to play when he was 5. Studied with Stanislav Udanich. Yeah. Made his way by way of England.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Hmm.
Can I tell
Go
our
for it,
viewing audience what
Yeah,
our
go for it.
program is? Okay. The program here is as follows. He opens this CD with Carl Czerny's Variations on the Theme by Rodet, Opus 33. Do you remember that one?
No.
No? Horowitz was once asked by David Duvall,
Oh,
which
she
recording
liked.
would you like to be remembered for?
Yeah.
And without hesitation, he
That's
said,
right.
"The Variations on Rode by Czerny." So, and it is a very thrilling set of variations.
And he can afford to say that because he's going to be remembered for his performances of a lot of other works.
Oh yeah, but he likes that
So you
one.
could mention
Apparently,
that one.
he really likes that one. We have an episode. We have a PSI episode where we did talk about the work. I brought the score in, and we talked about where the work came from. So, anyways, he follows that up with Franz Liszt's Dante Sonata. After this Dante Sonata, he does Debussy's Suite Bergamasque, and then Stravinsky's 3 movements from Petrushka, and he closes the work with the Intermezzo from Opus 119 by Brahms, the Adagio. Anyways, here, let me bring it over and show it to the audience. Here you go. This is the CD, at least the cover. The background, I would imagine, is a photograph of the crater he was just talking about. Back. Here's the inside. There he is. Nothing much else interesting in here, but it does come with a neat little booklet. See? Everything is in, let's see, nice and neat. English, French, and German. All the major languages. Okay. Now, the important part about the playing. The playing, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I say that is, okay. I judge most recordings on how well my attention is held with it. Okay, the attention here. I mean, I couldn't even. My attention span, even in the first track on the Carl Czerny, only lasted maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then I was gone. The Dante Sonata, it was good, but my problem with it was he kept tinkering with some articulations. He underplayed a lot of stuff in it. There was parts in it where it was, I know the episode where he's trying to picture heaven, where it's supposed to be legato arpeggios. He played it the entire section staccato, all of it. The Debussy. Oh boy, the Debussy. Well, let's just say it was not my idea of how I thought the work would go. It seemed like it was very, I don't know, very walk in the parkish. It seems like he's playing it as if, okay, we've been here before and that was it. The most excitement was in the Petrushka. Wow, in the Petrushka, he exhibited a very well lubricated technique. I mean, even the glissandos in it, it wasn't it wasn't just loud like I've heard some recordings go, but it had a sort of more of a slide up to the main melodies. So I didn't get to listen to the Brahms yet, so I'll probably get to listen to that later. All right, now let me ask you something real quick, and some of you pianists out there might want to ponder this. we've been pianists for a long time. I try to get as much practicing I can each day. Sometimes I can, sneak in maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour, and then that's it. On days where I don't have to teach as many students, I can probably pull in maybe 3 or 4. And that's about it. I don't know. I've wrestled with this idea in my head for a really long time. So maybe in a lot of ways at this point, I'm sort of opening up my heart to you. To be a pianist, is it the one thing that just be the final definition of you? And it's funny, I'll go, I'll talk to friends and neighbors, and I remember talking with a neighbor, and we were talking about how we felt about certain movies or something, and they said, I like this about it, I like that about it, and they felt very intense about this moment, but I asked them, I'd like to think that you're more than just somebody that just watches movies. I don't know what I'm asking now. I guess what I'm asking you is it just being able to play the piano, being a musician, is it the solely thing that will define you?
Well, some different things come to mind. Last year, I was for 9 months. I couldn't play the piano because of my shoulder surgery, injury, and surgery and such. I've been almost a year, frankly, without really playing.
Were you depressed?
I think I was drugged a lot. No, I mean, it was odd not being I continued to play the organ.
Right.
Eventually, from about July on last year. But the piano, I couldn't do the downweight stuff.
Yeah.
As I got back to it, there's real joy and coming back. And what's interesting is, I would say I still don't have the speed that I did. I know I'll get it back because it keeps getting better, but I think because I had this period of time where I couldn't make sounds. I'm rather, what's the word I would use? Fascinated, agog, bewildered almost a bit by the sounds that I make. They're pretty good. I've got my color. Although I told you already before that I'm approaching things in different ways than I may have before.
Yeah.
Because there's a period of just like putting it up on the shelf and letting the dust collect and then getting it back off and then opening it up and trying again. Yeah. Recently, I've known some people who've been dying lately and have been involved in there, sometimes quite directly and sometimes a little more passively in their memorial services. I played for a fellow at church, I think this was last weekend, Um, they're used to hearing me at the church, mostly on the organ.
Yeah.
And it's mostly liturgical kind of stuff. And occasionally I play it on the piano, but then it's a rather focused service. The whole point of the Lutheran service as practiced by this Missouri Synod Church is towards the sacrament. It's all about the sacrament. And I played the piano, and I played 4 of my favorite pieces. And really, like the one guy from the family who came and found me and shook my hand after, says, he was an older guy too, but he said this, he said, "You were in some kind of zone when you played." And I said, "Well, yeah, I think I was. I just kind of went in there."
Yeah.
And several people said nice things, and then some church people, one lady who's the wife of the immediately former president of the congregation, came over and gave me a huge hug and said, it was incredible. It was nice because these people are used to me and like my musical work at the church and stuff.
Yeah.
Were blown away by Dr. Marc at the piano. And that was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice that I could work that kind of magic,
Right.
and really put some really palpable emotion out there. I didn't know this because I was busy performing, but Steve, the husband of the wife that gave me out, he said there wasn't a dry eye in the house when you were playing. Everybody was just coming down. And then I had an interesting lesson with my doctor, my physician doctor, piano student, yesterday. He was asking some questions, trying to get his head around some music theory, stuff like that. And I finally told him, I said, I've been watching some shows where father and son relationships just seem to pop up. And I said, I think I've never had children of my own. I have students, But I said right now, and he's like early 50s probably, or late 40s, doctor, professional and all that. But he loves what he's doing with the piano, trying to learn everything. I said, I have this moment right now. I said, I'm very proud of you. I said, with the things that you're asking and the questions and the way that you're beginning to find freedom over the keyboard and everything, I said, my boy's finally taking the training wheels off of his bicycle. And he laughed, But he asked me some different questions at some point. He said, you're like always learning new things, aren't you? Like you're always discovering something new as every day goes along. I said, and you should see my library, With the question that you asked, I'm not going to be remembered as primarily, no, not as a remarkable pianist.
Yeah.
I have had my remarkable moments, and I have qualities that I think I like in my own playing, which captivate people. I think I'll probably be looked at primarily for my teaching and mentoring and guiding of amateurs into musical bliss, musical moments of real satisfaction. I think I'll probably be thought of more for my teaching. And it can be through piano or conducting, that kind of stuff. I like that work. I got something to share on our Thrifter thing, and it will show. It has nothing to do with music, but we sometimes do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
because
we do.
I think it's like in Arthur Rubinstein's biography, he writes about and talks about literature and art and all that.
Yeah.
And you read that kind of thing a lot with different people and artists, and I've been lucky. I've traveled and I've seen places, been in composers' houses, many times in Wagner's house, and Liszt's last house next across the street.
Yeah.
I used to go there a lot, especially to the Wagner house, Wanfried, and listen to performances in his living room.
Yeah.
that they feed through the stuff. I've been really fortunate that way.
Yeah.
And my student yesterday, Dr. Dan, said, "You're like a Renaissance man, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I think that's probably fair,
yeah.
you know." So I'm not sure we're getting with it, but I am a pianist. And I've often said sometimes, that I spent so much time with the piano that if people ask me if I'm a religious person or anything like that, I say, well, I think I'm a very spiritual person, very much so. My whole life has had a spiritual path to it.
Yeah.
It still does. But if there's any religion, because I don't ascribe to one, I've kind of taken things which feel right to me to help me connect with the divine in my way. But my religion is the piano. The moments that one has when you practice, you get. It actually begins when I'm doing the scales and the Russian exercises, and stuff like that. I start to separate from temporal reality, and then I move on into the music, and then of course you're working with miraculous things.
Yeah.
And I've often said that I think I achieved my straightest path towards knowing God once I got to a certain level of accomplishment, where you lose your sense of time and space, and you get lost in this world of sound and ideas. And it's a little, I don't experience it as much now, but that's because I haven't built up the intensity of my practicing and frequency of it quite yet. But I think in that world is where God is,
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to other people to decide how to put it to words if they want to say something about me. But no, strictly as a pianist, as a gigantic pianist, and no, I think it's more wider than that.
Mm-hmm.
So what's this about?
Well,
I don't even know if I
I'm just wondering. Okay.
Is this
It's
leading
about
to what you got in the box?
No, it has nothing to do with the box.
Oh.
It has everything to do with the CD.
Oh, is it? What's his name? Oh.
Velodos.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of his latest CDs. Okay, my wife got this one for me too. For taking care of the house while she was gone.
Oh.
So, if you recall, last time I presented this, it was still in its wrapper. I finally got to unwrap it a couple of days ago. And it is everything you would expect from Velodos, and dare I say it, more. Velodos has on the CD the Franz Schubert's Piano Sonata Number 17 in D major, Deutsch 850. It's a 4-movement work: Allegro vivace, a con modo, a scherzo, which is a Allegro vivace trio, and the 4th movement is a rondo, Allegro moderato. And I'll tell you what, folks. I've listened to this work before by other pianists that never interested me, but the way he performs it, it finally rang my chimes well enough to sit there and listen to the entire work. He never ceases to amaze me. This pianist. Here, I'll show it to you.
Was he a competition winner?
He has never won a competition. Velodos entered the Moscow Conservatory as a vocal student.
That's right.
He started off as a vocal student and was only taking piano to fulfill piano requirements at the conservatory level. And at the age of 15, 16 years old, his piano teacher asked him if he ever thought about becoming more of a pianist than a vocal major. And well, the rest is history. So, but in the Schubert Sonata, he reveals everything and more. It is by far the most eye-opening experience out of all his CDs so far. I've never heard anything like it in my life.
I've been curious about his career.
Yeah.
He came from the Soviet Union.
He did.
And to the best of my knowledge, he's lived in a few different places in Europe.
Yes.
Remember, he was holed up in Switzerland for a period of time.
Yep. He was in
Now he's
France.
Spain. No, was it?
Now I believe
Did
he's
he
in Spain.
marry money, or has he made that good of money from his career? How does he survive?
I would imagine.
He's not been that. Well, you know what I mean by active.
Yeah,
a
I
performer.
know what you mean by active.
Where's the money coming from?
Who knows?
How does he live?
I don't.
He doesn't
know.
look like he lives poor.
No, he's not.
He has a beautiful piano in the house. I remember the video.
You
with
saw
the
the
library
behind
the
him. Yeah, all
Yeah.
those books and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but he's an amazing musician, pianist, transcriber, improviser. He does everything well.
You know, there's that tradition of pianists that I think goes back to. I can see his face with the mustache. The Italian pianist, the rich guy, who Benedetti Michelangelo.
Naturally, yeah.
Arturo Benedetti Michelangelo. Yeah. He was actually descended from a noble family.
Yeah.
He, you know, if you listen to his recordings, I think some really impressive playing. Some people sometimes thought that there was a similarity in technical mastery like Horowitz.
Yeah.
Not the colorist that Horowitz is, but
right.
the master of the keyboard. And there were other people like, who's the one I'm thinking of? He's an old guy now, but the Italian pianist that just died. Pellini went to Benedetti Michelangelo after he'd won the Chopin competition, and when he finished, he realized, I'm not ready to do this.
Yeah.
And he went back to Italy and he apprenticed himself to Benedetti Michelangelo for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And worked with him like that. Michelangelo was this kind of pianist who gains a kind of mystical reputation.
Yeah, he does.
They have a certain mastery when they come around and they do this stuff, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
You know? And Michelangelo was like, I just slipped my mind. I was thinking.
Michelangelo's also very.
They cancel more often than they play.
Exactly.
He was apparently kind of a nervous player, maybe.
Yeah. He has a bit of Hensel.
Adolf Henselt was famous for that, right?
Yeah.
Well, and what was his name? Well, eventually, Glenn Gould backed off more and more from performing in public. He did a lot of recording and television and radio and things like that.
Yeah. Well, he didn't like the concept.
He didn't like it at all. He hated it, actually.
Yeah. Did he ever tell you what his ideal concert would be? His ideal concert, he eventually led this on in an interview. This is Glenn Gould. He said he wants to return to a time where the performer and the audience were on an equal intellectual plane.
Yeah.
You know, where they can, where they understand each other better.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays he says, most people could just come in to perform, and they do it because people want to see them, play music, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no intellectual sharing between audiences and the performer. More or less, the performer is more sharing more with the audience rather than the audience sharing with the performer, and that's what he misses. He says there was a time in music history where the audience was every bit as much on an intellectual level as the performer on stage.
I often think about what it was like well, to be honest, all the way from the latter part of Beethoven's life, all the way through Brahms in Vienna.
Yeah.
What it must have been like. I mean, when you think when Brahms moved to Vienna, and he didn't write a symphony until he was 40 years old.
Yep. Maybe older than that, I think.
I mean, clearly.
Stories about his first symphony.
Yeah.
He'd bring in a few scores and says, "What do you think of this?" And it was in a tavern, and he shared with some of his musician friends. And they looked at it, and they laughed at him.
Yeah.
They laughed at him.
So it's interesting. I mean, with someone like Brahms, who's a craftsman master, right? He could take it. He could take the pressure, the stress, the expectations, potential criticism, were there. I mean, when you think about what the average amateur choral singer was able to read and do in the later 19th century, and they were professionals.
No, they were.
And you look at the music that Brahms wrote for these Minnesänger and the Damenchöre, or the mixed choruses of these people, mostly amateurs. They go out, maybe once or two nights a week and practice and do stuff. It's tough stuff and requires a certain kind of skill, which is a little hard to find with the amateurs. But I was also thinking then about a couple more pianists. Ivo Pogorelic, especially after his wife died. He kind of disappeared for a period of time. Wow, looked like a gulag prisoner when he got his hair cut super short and everything. And he did, I think, more stuff in a way like Horowitz did. He was playing through recordings so people could hear him. And then there's Volodus. It's like so it's like we've talked about this before. There's this world of categories of pianists. And it seems like it's an unfortunate thing, but I think it's kind of true. Once certain people die, fly the coop from that category, who's going to replace him? And it seems to me that when Alfred Brendel passed away, a pianist which really started to emerge in that category is Vikingur Olafsson. Not the same repertoire.
No.
But very similar mental kind of discipline, attitude, the whole image of that, which I think, I don't know how much of it was cultivated ultimately by Brendel. He became more restrictive in the repertoire that he played, and he seemed to be comfortable with it. But if you know his early stuff, boy played everything. His first recording was the Alban Berg First Sonata, right? And he played Busoni, and he played, the Totentanz, and
Malediction.
The Malediction,
Concerto.
Amazing. I mean, the guy played everything. And then released that massive Vox box of all of Beethoven's music for piano.
So, he would play Russian music, if you could believe it.
So I didn't mean to, but it's just interesting to me that, and sometimes they get away with it. Now, Benedetti Michelangelo came from money, so I'm sure he didn't have to suffer for things. But I'm wondering with some of these people, like, how do they get along? Now, imagine, Ivo Pogorelic from when Margaret walked off the jury because she thought he should move forward, and they didn't let him. That vaulted him into a place of public notoriety. But very clearly, then when the recordings came out, I mean, I haven't heard anybody play, well, and even more astonishingly, the Schumann Toccata. It seems like he barely touches the pedal. And the only other, just like, how do you play this piece that way? Joseph Levine's famous recording. For me, in my mind, there's been two extraordinary 20th century performances of the Schumann Toccata. There may have been other people that did it, but Levine and Pogorelic. And Pogorelic is almost like I'm sure he uses the pedal.
He
but
probably
it
does.
comes across rather dry, you know, and not boring, but just. The first time I heard it, was like, how does he do that? You know, because my hands aren't big enough, my fingers aren't big enough to do yaga daga daga da 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 to get that legato with the fingers like that. I just don't have the stretch.
Reach for it.
Don't have it. So I interrupted you like
talking
about that, but
that's all right.
I got philosophical about it. Maybe,
well, anyways,
clearly this really
Belotus. This recording is a revelation.
Is it? There's more on there than Schubert.
Yeah, there's more than just the Schubert. He plays the Scenes of Childhood by Schumann on it.
Oh.
And I haven't gotten to the Schumann yet to make a judgment, but I would imagine it's just as stunning. He did it because he has a daughter now. Apparently, I don't know how old she is. I don't know how long Belotus has been a father. But, all that questioning about, we had earlier. This guy, he has an interview in here, and it's a fairly lengthy interview. And he talks about why he prefers live recordings, but because this, you can't fake anything on a live recording. It's imperfections is part of the performance, he says. Mm-hmm. Let's see. He says, which of the Schubert sonatas do you like to play? He says he likes to play all of them. He's played them all at home. Mm-hmm. He says he won't. He says most of them. He says most of them are not ready. And he has no intention of playing them in concert, nor does he plan on recording them all on CD for posterity. But he won't do it. Mm-hmm. He talks about the major difficulties in Schubert's writing for the piano in there. He says the great difficulty with Schubert is the basic outline, he says. The absolute transparency. As with Mozart, the loftiest message is communicated in very few notes. Mm-hmm. This demands simplicity and depth on the part of the interpreter. Mm-hmm. Within this economy, everything makes sense. Mm-hmm. It is in silence that the personality and the spirituality of the interpreter shine through. One is completely exposed, as Debussy said. Music is what lies between the notes.
This is a kind of wisdom that was often thought of. Schnabel talked about back in his time.
Yeah.
Only a truly seasoned artist would play Schubert. Because the thought was, until you were kind of a mensch, I mean, they've been hanging down there for a few decades, that you really got Schubert. And Bruno Walter used to say that as far as the tradition of conducting in Germany went, you cut your teeth in opera, all the drama and the singing. You learn how to sing with an orchestra, how to sing instrumentally, from working with the singers. And he said then usually, if you were really meant to take over an orchestra, that might be presented to you in your 40s, and maybe by your 50s, then you would start presenting Schubert symphonies. It's really a respect for the metaphysical, the spiritual profundity of what's in the music, and the mastery. Brahms gets like this as he goes along in his career. Brahms is a really interesting composer to watch because he actually lived long enough to kind of perfect what he could do. Mozart gets cut off way too early. So does Chopin in many ways. But Brahms shows what a great master can do near the end. Bach is another one which can demonstrate extraordinary things like that. Mm-hmm. The simplicity of the music with the complexity of calculus. Yeah. It sounds simple, but when you really dig into it, or if you're a musician and you know what's there, this is why it's possible, I think, to experience God, whatever that really totally means, but to experience that in making music at a certain level once you get to a certain place, This is very wise.
It's
what he said.
oh yeah. In it, he talks about why he will only do 20 to 30 concerts a year. He won't do any more than that. He says, because I want to be a father. He says he wants to be with his family. He says when he's with his family, he is the happiest man in the world. That's quote unquote. When I'm with my family, I'm the happiest man in the world. You know? And, you know, that made me think. You know, here's a guy that he has his musicianship as a, you know, a pianist that, you know, we all try to vie for, you know, try to fight through our whole lives to try to get to. And here's a guy who only does 20 to 30 concerts a year, if that, and comes up with CD recordings every 5 to 10 years.
You know, I think in a certain way, after he
I'm
came
jealous,
out of retirement, Horowitz performed more than that.
Yeah.
But as he went along, as he got older, a Horowitz performance was an event.
Yeah.
You know? But before, in the 50s when he was playing, before he stopped, he was a busy boy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, he's going all over doing it, but he started to slow down. And then when you think about, like, what he managed to do in Moscow at that concert,
Yeah.
when Martha Argerich just sits there shaking her head. This is just supreme mastery.
Yeah.
And this is Martha Argerich saying,
Yeah.
who's one of the extraordinary artists of the 21st century. But, well, it's always nice that people like that exist, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's part of the wonderful thing about our little iceberg. Not so little.
Yeah.
The geniuses, sometimes the geniuses aren't even standing on the top of the iceberg. They're kind of levitating above.
Yeah. So, anyways, I have a CD here I think you might find interesting. This was released by Melodia. Remember Melodia?
Yep.
Yeah. This is Russian live recordings from the 60s. Mstislav Rostropovich. You know who he is. Have you heard of this one? Galina Vishnevskaya.
Yeah, Galina Vishnevskaya.
Okay,
Was his
well,
wife.
look at this.
Yeah.
They do Modest Mussorgsky songs and Dances of Death.
Death, yeah.
This is the first performance, first release.
Mm.
Dmitri Shostakovich, 7 Romances to Poems by Alexander Blok, Opus 127. First performance, first release. Satires, Opus 109. First release.
Who's the composer?
The composer is Shostakovich. Prokofiev's 5 Poems by Anna Akhmatova, Opus
So
27.
Rostropovich is directing, and his wife's singing these things.
He's also on the piano.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's also on the piano on these. And this whole CD is all first releases.
Where'd you get this? From one of these thrifty things?
I did.
Wow, Melodia.
Yeah.
Well, they were so young.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. Oh, okay. Have you listened to it?
I have not listened to it yet.
That would be
I've been
very
waiting.
interesting.
I know. Okay, I know you've been wondering what's in the box. I brought in
So
the
there's
box.
a box back here.
Yes.
I asked him when he was coming upstairs. I said, "Oh, you got me a present." He said, "Nope."
No, absolutely not. Actually, I'm thinking of putting this in a vault someplace.
Uh-oh.
I got this thing for $20 from Half Price Books.
When did this happen?
This happened just a few days ago.
Oh.
And I saw it on the shelf on display.
Uh-oh.
And I wasn't about to let anybody.
Whoa, it's leather bound.
It's old. It's very old.
And heavy.
And heavy.
Wow.
This, folks.
What you got there, buddy?
This was released back in 1899.
Whoa.
It's falling apart. The front cover says, it's in leather, is called a manual of music. Manual of music. It's got a lyre in the middle of it with squiggly designs on it. They look like vines. But look at this introduction. Copyrighted 1888 by G.L. Howe and W.M. Derthick. 1888. Look at what this thing has. It's got a 2-page introduction. It was written by W.S.B. Matthews, Chicago, February 15th, 1889. I brought this here because some of the interesting contents. It starts off with Chapter 1, History of Music, Music of the Ancients. It talks about the Chinese, the Egyptians, the Israelis, the Muslims, Gregorian system. And there's more. I'm trying to look for the page. They had to tape this thing together because I guess the pages were falling out. I'm looking for that. This is a
Timeline?
What?
Timeline?
Timeline. Look at this thing.
Wow.
1700, 1710, 1720, all the way up to 1800. And this thing is filled with at least a dozen of these things. At least a dozen. And it goes through, let's see, principal epochs in the general history of music, principal periods and events of the history of the opera, periods in the history of the oratorio, history of the pianoforte and organ, just a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
You know, when I see something like that, what comes to mind, what made it all possible?
Yeah.
Heinrich Schliemann and the study of archaeology, where really, not for the first time, there have been historical study going on before that, but Schliemann was the German archaeologist who discovered Troy. He believed the myths. Everybody said, oh, those are just mythical stories. He believed they were true, and he went to Turkey and he dug and he dug, and he found it. First level, second level, third levels. There's a real deep history of that. And from that point, because of the amazingness about that, I mean, people have been bringing home mummy stuff and things from Egypt for a long time. But Schliemann brought the idea that science and art and myth could be brought together as one discipline. And so then you get something like music, and you say, this is beautiful. You have to show them one of these timelines. The scientific and scholarly work that went into trying to understand the connectivity of something like music and where it was in the world and how it came about, how it developed.
Look at all the names in this thing.
And it's interesting it came by way of Germany because musicology as an academic discipline really came to full fruition in Germany in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. And some of these guys ended up in America, chased out by the Nazis, because their ideology went so far as to believe, Wagner's ideas and things, and they weren't interested in more contemporary and even political, like Theodor Adorno and stuff like that, considerations of music, what it represented, what it could be, and so forth in a society. And America profited from all of this German scholarship. This is, I can't even see it in the fine print, but this is really remarkable.
It's
color-coded.
This guy left no one's names out. Look at all the names that he's got here pre-Bach, before Bach.
Yeah.
These names I've never even heard of. I mean, much less, oh hell, I can't even pronounce these. It's amazing. I mean,
Can you show them this?
Yeah, look at this. The printing is like barely a centimeter. Look. I don't think the camera's going to be able to pick this up.
Probably not.
It's
but
too small.
You get a general idea.
You get a general idea, but it's amazing.
So this is a thrifty find, or
I got this over at Half Price Books. It was
much
sitting on
did
the
you pay for it?
it was sitting on their display behind the counter.
Oh,
They had a bunch of stuff up there that was like
Oh.
$200, $100, $50, and I saw this thing, and I says, "How much you want for it?" He says, "Well, we've had it up here for a while." He says, $20. So I said,
Wow.
"I'll take it."
wow, good
You
for
know,
you,
so-
Elmer.
I picked it up. It also has repertoire in here.
Really, real music?
Scores, piano scores.
Huh.
It's amazing. They've got stuff in here that Thalberg's music's in here. Thalberg, it's got a Hensel piece I've never even heard of. It's got one neat piece in here I thought was intriguing. It was Thalberg's arrangement of a Scarlatti sonata. It said G minor in the contents. Wrong. It's an F minor.
Wow.
So I was sort of sad about that. I thought I found a new sonata. The F minor one, I already have a copy of that one someplace. And
This
I'm sure you
came-
could pick it up.
This
over
came out of Chicago.
Apparently so.
So what's
So-
the name of the book?
It's just called Manual of Music.
And who's the primary author?
It's W.S.B. Matthews.
I want to see if I can. find
He's
the
at least
story.
the guy who wrote the introduction, so I would imagine he had something to do with putting this thing together. Manual of Music. It's history, biography, and literature illustrated with chronological charts, including biographies and portraits of eminent composers with characteristic specimens from their works, carefully analyzed and explained. A dictionary of technical and proper names with definitions and simplified pronunciations. Devised and edited by W.M. Derthick, author of chronological charts. You might want to look up W.M. Derthick instead.
Oh, here it is. W.S.B. Matthews is in the open library. Apparently wrote music. I don't see anything about this book per se.
Try W.M. Derthick. D-E-R.
Well, there's plenty of stuff about Matthews.
Okay.
Was educated in Boston. I'll look some stuff up about him and put some things in there. Huh. Graded course of studies in piano sheet music. Looks like he was a very busy boy.
He was a very busy boy.
Hmm.
Look at this portrait of Handel. Look at that.
It's beautiful. The engraving work and stuff they could do
Engraving,
back
yeah.
then was amazing.
Wow. Look at this one, a Cherubini.
Huh. Yep. Wow.
Wow. Maria Luigi Cherubini. Yeah, he left no names out. He got them all basically. Look at that. Supplementary Beethoven analyses of the Sonata in A flat, Opus 26. Wow. Anyways, now you wonder why I put it in this box. It's going to go back in the display case at home.
You have a display case?
Yes, it's glass. That's where it's going. I'm not putting this on a bookshelf or anything like that. I'd be afraid of I'd be afraid of bookworms and stuff getting into it. So it's going into a basically a glass case. So that was an interesting find, to say the least. What you looking at?
Looking at a whole bunch of his stuff available on eBay.
WSB Matthews?
Yeah, the boy was quite a published person.
Wow.
Various kinds of historical writings, methods, things like that. There's a book called How to Understand Music, rare first edition, 1880, for $125.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Apparently a very busy boy back in the day.
Oh, yeah, very busy. So what do you have for us?
I had just like one thing.
Okay.
It's not musical.
That's all right.
Recently I was watching, well, actually I think we saw another movie, and then I watched a documentary about Vincent Price. Had a bunch of interesting things to say, but it got me going. Sometimes this is dangerous for me because if I have my tablet with me, I start looking at things, for things, and I found a few books. I ended up ordering 2 or 3. I think one I may have bought was a digital one. I have to look and see again.
It's like a Dover edition. Is it Dover?
No.
No. Okay.
But this was really nice shape for its. I mean, I'm sure it's a reprint, but this is, I think, his first autobiography.
Really?
That he wrote in '59. He was 48 years old. He wrote it on the occasion of his 48th year, and he was just reflecting on his life and stories and art collecting, all this, and based upon his passion for art. Because he was from St. Louis, and his family, his grandfather had come up with the formula for the first, I forget what the special ingredient was, but basically a baking powder.
Baking powder.
For making, things and baking. And they made a fortune from that in the family. And then his father was also, but they came basically from money which was made in food things. But I guess the big fortune came from his grandfather's invention. But he grew up pretty well. He went to some private school stuff, and I forget. Well, he went to Yale.
Oh, wow.
And he got an English degree, and he was kind of interested in art, so he got an English degree. And then he went over to England, and I forget what it was he was studying there, but he's exposed to the art and all that. And he did make the grand European trip, and went to the capital cities and saw things and such. But he first started to act in London when he was there. But anyway, he calls it a visual biography. I like what I know.
I like that title.
And I think I've got, there's another book. I actually favored a few things that I'm really fascinated with this guy. He's in some of my favorite movies. Of course, there's some famous horror films, but I love him he's not so important because Clifton Webb's the primary guy, but in Laura, The Eyes of Laura Mars.
Oh, yes.
With Dana Andrews.
Yes, with the
lady who supposedly was killed, but it turns out to have been her. Well, we're not giving this away, right? It turns out it was the maid, or her lady's assistant, because she shows up.
Yeah.
Dana
What's her
Andrews.
face? Faye Dunaway's in it.
Yeah.
Faye Dunaway.
There's a lot of famous people.
Yeah.
Clifton Webb is, and I love Clifton Webb too. He was an interesting boy.
Yeah.
But it feels, I just got it in the mail.
Wow.
It's really,
and he's in that movie?
Really nice book. Yeah,
Eyes of Laura Mars?
Yeah, he's a romantic interest.
Oh,
one of them.
Okay. Romantic interest of Faye Dunaway?
No, not Faye Dunaway. Are you sure Faye Dunaway's in that movie? Because it's what's her name? Jean Kelly? Not Jean Kelly. Jean Tierney. Jean Tierney is Laura in the movie.
Oh,
Tierney.
We might be thinking of two different
Yeah.
movies.
This is Vincent Price and Gene Tierney, and then
I'll bring
they're
my
together
copy of it.
again when they did that movie. I think it was called Dragonwick, where he plays that kind of guy in the big castle house. He's
Look
a little
up-
weird up in
Look
there.
up Eyes of Laura Mars.
Yeah. No, I know it's Gene
You
Tierney.
did?
She was an Aquarian. I know my Aquarian brothers and sisters.
Faye Dunaway's not in it?
No.
Oh, come on.
Let me see.
Look.
Okay.
Eyes of Laura Mars.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Maybe the one I'm thinking of is a remake.
Eyes. There it is. Oh, there's this film made in '78.
Ah, that's the one I'm thinking of with Faye Dunaway. Am I right?
Eyes of Laura Mars. But see, they don't call it that movie, right? It's called Laura, I think. Anyway, but let me look up. What is her name? Was Gene Tierney.
Anyways, I'm going to show this to the folks. Here it is, folks. We did talk about this guy a while back. Wow. This is published by... Wow. I don't see it. To Marion Barrett, without whom I might not like what I know as much. Oh. Wow, nice book.
Yeah.
You find it?
Still looking.
Still looking.
Because I don't remember the actual title. There it is. It was just called Laura.
Laura?
Yeah, opposite Dana Andrews. It was directed by Otto Preminger.
Okay.
It's black and white. But it's possible. I do think they redid that film in '78
Yeah.
with Faye Dunaway.
Yeah. Faye Dunaway plays this photographer who.
And then she was in Dragonwick with Vincent Price again.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I found out some interesting information about this.
Yeah.
What was that show you said you watched? It was like a children's kind of spooky
Oh,
horror TV show.
the hilarious House of Frightenstein.
Frankenstein. So that was actually made in Canada.
Oh wow.
Like Canadian television stuff.
Yeah.
And this was really amazing.
But,
He was just supposed to like be in costume and recite a few lines or
Yeah.
poetry or something like that.
yeah.
Turns out that when he was hired to do that, he went there and over the course of maybe 1 week, he recorded 400 of those little moments, those little things.
Yeah.
And then they just edited it into the shows as they went along.
Wow.
And he did it all. 400 little snippets, but still. And at his age when he actually did it, he was a bit older. But it said that he did it like within 5 days. He recorded it all.
Wow. Yeah, that maniacal laugh will live in my
Yeah.
memory forever.
There's
Yeah.
one movie that I watched, which I think is really masterful and
Hmm.
disturbing. Is it called The Last Man on Earth?
Last Man on Earth. Yeah.
It's a black and white thing. It's
Yeah.
a post-apocalyptic thing where the people have turned into zombies kind of people. And he lives in his house by himself, and there's a lady
Yeah.
who shows up at his house that she brings in, tries to help her. But his
Yeah.
life, where he has his station wagon, he takes things and goes and gets stuff in the daytime, and
Yeah.
has to be back home and lock himself in.
Yeah.
In the zombie.
There's another one called Omega Man,
Yeah,
starring Charleston Heston, where he does that.
that's right.
Um,
And we just recently, one of them we
Yeah.
saw was Dr. Phibes.
uh,
That's ultimately a strange film. It's very 60s, very like
what's it called, Doctor?
Dr. Phibes, you know?
Dr. Phibes.
Where he's the guy whose wife is dead and he's killing these people who are responsible for his wife's death in the hospital.
Oh gosh.
He plays the organ and he has this completely messed up face and everything.
Oh, Phibes.
Dr.
Phibes.
Yeah,
Oh my
Dr.
gosh.
Phibes.
The abominable
Dr.
Dr.
Phibes.
Phibes. Oh my gosh.
It's a classic and it's a very coldish, kind of 60s kind of weird film. There's that one young actress who plays his assistant. I think she was Russian or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that movie.
There's not a ton of talking in it. It's actually more visual.
Yeah.
And it's very weird. It's very 60s. Costumes, colors.
Yeah.
Out there,
Oh, the hair.
Kind of weird stuff. But anyway, I got a couple more things coming from him. And I'd already shown those cookbooks before. We made something.
Yeah, we did.
From
We
one
did
of
make
his...
something.
before. Anyway, that's my contribution. I've got some other things maybe coming, and I have bought a bunch of other books lately, but they're not about musical. Most of the time, they're not about music. I showed you the ones that were.
Yeah.
But I have other subjects I've been interested in lately.
Yeah.
The mound is building up, Elmer.
I know.
I'm running out of other places
Room.
to put them.
You might have to open a little library. I've been looking at houses or vacant shops and stuff. So
that would be
the ultimate.
If I had to.
You could call it the Marc and Elmer's PSI library.
Not bad, Actually, we could rent it together. Just get one of those commercial spaces and just put up a bunch of bookshelves.
Yeah, we could. Gosh. Or the library we could open.
Is that varying on sickness, Elmer?
No. We're passionate.
Yeah.
It's not a sickness. It's called being passionate. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed our show today. We tried to cover as much as we could, but, details and stuff, reactions. That's what we were about here.
Well, I thought we asked some good questions.
Yeah. Think about what I said earlier, asked about earlier, folks. Maybe you might have some answers. We have Yoon Chan Lim. He's still young, but he made it clear in an interview that he is going to dedicate his life to music.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said. Arthur Rubinstein talked about that in one of his memoirs. He talked about Leopold Godowsky. He says in it, it would take me 5 lifetimes to get a piano technique like that. He says, but I enjoy my cigars, my food, my wine, my women, and reading Proust, way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Leopold Godowsky, was one of the finest musicians of his time, but away from the piano, he was a miserable man, is what he said. He says, and that's what made him think. So, anyways, I guess it's my time to think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you got to teach today?
I do have to teach today.
I got a couple cancellations. I don't have to go until 5, but it's been a good long show.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it was interesting for you guys.
Yeah, I know it was interesting for me. It was interesting for me, particularly giving you a view of what the competitions, what's happening with the Arthur Rubinstein competition. There's others taking place, too. What popped up in my YouTube feed was the Texas State International Piano Competition. You've heard of that one?
Yep.
It's the first time I've heard of Texas State International Piano Competition.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it until now.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, if you enjoy our show, folks, please comment, like, and subscribe. Visit us on Facebook. Otherwise, come back again in our next episode. Find out what we've been reading. Find out what we've been listening to. Find out what we've been playing. We'll catch you there again. I'm
Dr. Mark.
I'm Elmer, and we are Marc and
Elmer's PSI. Piano Scene Investigation.
Come back again.
See you, folks.